Scorpio, in November, the long-awaited change happened. So I'm sure that's impacting on December. And the main thing that's coming from the recent past is that you were sophisticated in terms of money. But this reading is all about the past, reminiscing the past, maybe particularly your childhood. And your current energy is that of you being much more cautious with money. And I think I know the reason for that, even though seemingly it's not obvious. The reason is that in the future, dependents are going to be dominating your thinking. Now, I always call this the single mother card, and you don't have to be female and you don't have to have children, but that's the energy of it. So you're clearly concerned about fulfilling your obligations to your dependents. And indeed, that is probably what instigates you to save for the long term. And this is almost certainly monetary savings for the long term. And that is going to lead to the outcome. What would change the outcome is you stepping into your power, being a little bit conservative. Probably it would bring wealth as well to you if you stepped into this power. I think it's something of a trick, a deception. I don't want to put that too strongly because you will get benefits if you choose to step into your power. But I think if you stick with long-term savings, with your concern for your dependents, you're going to find that you are spiritually reborn and full of hope. And that will attract blessings to you. So you don't need to step into that power as far as I see it, at least. The overall energy for this month is one of reminiscing about the past. I was going to say I don't understand it, and I think I do. Yeah, maybe I need to tell you later what I think I understand it to be. It's reminiscing about the past. It could be childhood, or certainly it's the distant past. It's not the recent past, and it's something that is having a profound impact on this month. And I do get it now. I'm stealing my own thunder to tell you what it is. I'll have to wait, so forgive me. Now, the energy from last month that's relevant to this month is an energy of you being sophisticated with money. And I don't know quite where that comes into it from last month. Certainly you were probably investing long term, but probably in yourself. There was also a warning about deception, probably for this month, and I can't see a deception in this month. Maybe you being cute is just responding to that knowledge, and oh no, that's because it's been cute last month, not this month. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll come back to this. Maybe it'll make more sense in a minute. And another indication that maybe you're aware of this potential deception, but you've nipped it in the bud, because that always is possible with that, or you catch them before it happens. But you're being careful with your money. And there's another reason for that. I don't know if you've spotted that other reason. It might be because of this potential deception. But it is all linked up to your distant past as well. We're going to be getting next energy. It's going to be explained. So I think you're right in being careful. The flip side of this is that you're miserly, but I don't think that's how we should read it. I think you're simply being careful, and probably for good reason. all is revealed now, and this is a card for the future. But I think it comes out of this reminiscing of the past. And that is, I think, some dependents emerge. Now, this could be children from a previous marriage. Could be children you didn't, well, if you're a woman it couldn't happen, could it? But if you're a male, children you didn't even know that you'd fathered. But some dependents emerge. It doesn't necessarily need to be people. It could be something that you need money for. You need money to support, I mean, it could be, I suppose it could even be parents, couldn't it? It doesn't have to be children, but it's something, I think it's to do with the past. Well, I suppose parents could be the past as well, couldn't it, But yeah, I think you're somewhat aware of this, but not fully aware. And I think that's part of the reason why you've been careful with your money. But you're going to need your money to help out some sort of dependence. Yeah. And a further indication that I think you were sort of somewhat aware of this is that you've been saving for the future, long-term savings for the future. You look at this rendering, it couldn't be clearer, could it? Planting coins for the future. So I'm sure you were somewhat aware that you were going to need money in the future. Now, everything has changed for you. And I do see this as a positive December for you. Finding out that you're going to have to look after people, look after something, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it clearly does alter your life, and that's exactly what's happening here. In fact, I think December's a very good reading, and we'll get to that in a minute. What would change everything is the energy of the Emperor. And I was thinking it was about power and authority, which it can be, and it can be conservative. But I think it's the fatherly role. So we got the motherly role in the future, which is the Queen of Pentacles. But the Emperor is very much a father, very much the provider. Now this would change things. Gosh. I mean, look, one explanation, this would only apply to at best 50% of you, is that you're male. So yeah, it would apply to 50% of you at best. And you didn't know that you'd had these children in the past, and it's a bit far-fetched, I know. But they emerge, in December, you find out about them. And you could either step up to the role of being a father, or you could consider more the financial aspect of it. I think that's the sort of what, as I say, if you step into the father role, then it'd be even more dramatic, wouldn't it? So it would change everything, yeah. Gosh. Well, as I say, that's just an analogy for you to understand the energy here. But there is something here about this sort of fatherly role that would change everything. Outcome of you saving for the future, and the outcome that I think is changed if you step into the fatherly role, is you being reborn. Well, of course, last month there was an ending, the change had come. So I see this rebirth as very, very positive indeed. So I'm not too certain the fatherly role is required, providing the money, as it were. And, as a result of you taking on those responsibilities, you're both reborn and you're full of hope. So I don't want this to seem at all negative, and maybe I've got it completely, finding out, well, I mean, maybe my analogy of finding out that you're a father after all this time, it's, some people would see it as wonderful and some people would see it as a tragedy, so it's in the eye of the beholder anyway. But you're reborn, you're full of hope, that's the main thing. So we can summarise for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, December is all about the past, and it's the distant past, not the recent past. The recent past, the change came that you'd been anticipating. There was something to do with being sophisticated with money that's important from the past, and I can sort of see how it is important this month, but I haven't quite grasped what it's all about. Or maybe I have. Right now, you're being very careful with money, and I don't want to call it miserly. That's the flip side. I think you're being very wise, actually. How much you know of what's going to happen, I'm not sure, but you certainly are somewhat aware, and you realise that you have to be careful with your money. Indeed, you're saving money for the future, which is a very wise thing to be doing. You're saving money for the future, and as a result of that, you're reborn with great hope, and that's a wonderful outcome. The thing that's on the horizon, and I think you have got an inkling about it, because this reading was all about the past, and that is, I think, from the distant past some dependencies emerge. Now, they could be children, it could be your parents, it could be all sorts of things. It needn't even be people, it might be things, but it's something that would take up your money and indeed your time. And that's on the horizon, and I've got the feeling that you're at least somewhat aware of it. Now, what would change things is you stepping into more of a fatherly role during December. So, it does feel like we're talking about children here, but it needn't be. But stepping into more of that role of leading the family, as it were, that would change everything. But given that the outcome is being reborn and full of hope, I'm not too certain that that's what you should be doing, even though that seems eminently sensible, given all of the conjectures that or illustrations I can think of about these energies.